An interesting game tonight for the Bulls going up against the Charlotte Hornets. A win is a win, and it was a win that they had to take, which would have been unacceptable for the Bulls to lose against a super shorthanded Hornets team who were without their best players, and then they even lost PJ Washington. He had to leave the game early in the first half. And yeah, the Bulls were without Patrick Williams and Alex Caruso. Obviously, that's going to impact their overall performance, but the Hornets hung around in this one. And it wasn't because they were playing well. No, in fact, watching this Hornets team made me realize just how awful they are right now. But they hung around because the Bulls would have these really nice plays, nice possessions, good stretches. They were solid on defense for most of the game, and then they would have these head-scratching plays where you were like, what are these guys even doing out there? That was especially the case in the first half. The Bulls turned the ball over a lot. They were missing a lot of open looks. Zach was passing the ball way too much, which just feels bizarre to say, but I'll get to him in a minute. But in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, the Bulls finally buttoned things up a bit, started playing with better pace, more ball movement, knocking down shots, and because the Hornets are the Hornets, naturally everything took care of itself from there. Must have been nice to be out there in the stands in this game to see Zach Lavine and Nikola Vucevic both back in action in the lineup. I have to say, I'm jealous of those who were at the game tonight. Speaking of going to games in person, it's truly one of the best experiences you'll ever have as a fan. But for me personally, the experience of buying tickets oftentimes isn't the best. Are you getting a good deal? Are you not getting a good deal? Are the tickets legitimate? How do you know you're not being scammed? I mentioned this. I once bought tickets years ago to a baseball game, and I thought I was getting this amazing deal on the tickets, super cheap, and then when I got there, the view was partially covered by a scoreboard, which there was nowhere on the ticket or on the platform that I bought it from that indicated it would be partially blocked. Anyway, you're probably wondering why I'm telling this random story. Well, it leads me into the sponsor of this video, Game Time, because with Game Time, they take the guesswork out when it comes to buying tickets. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events with incredible last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, which is so key and one of the things I love about the app, and their best price guarantee. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. They give you all-in prices to show you your total up front rather than tacking on a bunch of hidden fees by the time you get ready to check out, and you can buy tickets in literally seconds with just 2 taps. It really is that simple. So again, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code BULLCENTRAL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem your code BULLCENTRAL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, I'll start with Zach Lavine. Of course, I mentioned this before, but obviously he was going to be heavily scrutinized by everyone in this game, the fans, the media, other teams who were trying to see if he's a player that they should go after in a trade. And you knew that he knew that as well. And I feel like in the first half anyway, you could tell that was on his mind. Might have been overthinking things a bit. He was pretty passive overall on a lot of plays where you would see him normally drive to the basket with authority. He would pass it up to the outside man. He was even passing up on fairly open shots. I mean, there were times where you would just see him standing around in the corner watching a play happen. And look, you knew there was going to be a little rust from Zach tonight. He hasn't played in 38 days. It's going to take some reps for him to get his wind back up, get back into the flow of the game. And Zach did look a lot better in the second half. A bit more decisive on offense, was taking better shots, wasn't overpassing. He was cutting the basket. And you know, one thing I will say about Zach in this game, and I noticed it more in the first half, his energy on defense was much better than I've seen it all season. By far the most active and aggressive he's been on defense. Still not the best playing off the ball when it comes to the defensive side, but he was at least trying on that end of the floor and looked like he cared. And for Zach, coming into this game talking about how he just wants to come in and do whatever he needs to do to help the team and fit with what they're trying to do. Even if it's the small things like recognizing he needs to put forth better effort on defense, trying to move the ball more, not just hoisting up a bunch of contested shots, even just having that self-awareness and presence of mind when he's out there is a good sign to me. Now, I need to see it being done more consistently and of course against better teams. And whether Zach is doing this more for himself to just increase his trade value so he can get moved, or if he's actually doing it for the betterment of the team, I don't know. But if it helps the team win, that's all I really care about. Zach finished this game coming off the bench with a minutes restriction, 15 points on 6 for 11 shooting, struggled from outside, going 1 for 5 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and was a +4 on the night. Solid game for Zach. Let's hope that continues as long as he remains with the Bulls. Then there's Nikola Vucevic, who also returned tonight. Like Zach, also on a minutes restriction. He also struggled with his efficiency. 5 for 12 from the floor, 1 for 5 from 3, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, all in 24 minutes. Vucevic, he did have that monster throwdown of a dunk. That was the exclamation point at the end of the game. I don't even remember who that dunk was on because half the guys out there for the Hornets I didn't even recognize. But whoever it was, that was a poster they'll remember for the rest of their lives. Now, how about this from DeMar DeRozan tonight? Played 36 minutes, only took 10 shots. In a game where the Bulls' other 2 primary scorers came back, he decided not to put up so many shots, sacrifice some of those touches for the betterment of the team. He shot 6 for 10, 5 for 5 from the line to go along with 6 assists and 3 steals, finished the game with 17 points and a team high of +18. That's the other thing I've noticed about DeMar DeRozan, because when you see the Bulls and their offense, it still looks like DeMar is pounding the ball a lot. Just dribbling up, getting to his spot at the elbow, but DeMar actually isn't taking a lot of those shots that he would normally try and just pull up with a pump fake. He's getting to his spot, but then trying to divert the defense's attention and looking for an open man or a cutter to the basket and generating offense that way. It's still not my favorite style of basketball, and I would prefer to see the Bulls just keeping the ball moving, but the point I'm making is DeMar isn't just hogging the ball and putting up the majority of the shots that we've historically seen. He only took 10 shots tonight, while Coby, Vooch, and Lavine all put up more than him. Speaking of Coby, great game for him. Maintaining that shooting, looks like he's finally out of that shooting slump, but it wasn't just the 22 points on 7 for 12 shooting, 3 for 6 from 3, and passing Scottie Pippen for 4th all-time on the Bulls' 3-point shooting list. Big congrats to Coby for that, by the way. But it was definitely not on my bingo card to have Coby White lead the team in rebounding in this game with both Andre Drummond and Nikola Vucevic playing. Coby finished the game with a double-double by snagging 11 boards and also going along with 6 assists. 5 turnovers though. Coby has been turning the ball over a lot more recently, which has been very unlike him based on what we have seen this season. It's like going back to Coby of the past, where he always had a hard time taking care of the ball with his loose handles. And some of these are just turnovers where he straight up loses the ball in traffic on a drive. So hopefully he tightens that up a bit, but it is good to see him impacting the game in other ways and also just getting that stroke back. Ayo, solid game for him, played 40 minutes in this one, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, getting it done on both ends of the floor, and this coming off a bad game for him at Madison Square Garden. How about Dalen Terry getting his first start tonight with no Patrick Williams and Caruso in this game? Did he really go 2 for 4 from 3? When we talked about Terry developing that jump shot and how that's going to be really key for the health of his overall career, because he can do a lot of things when he's out there on the court, impacting the game defensively, pushing the pace in transition with his court vision, but he's got to get that shot down. And so to see him knock down a couple threes was a sight for sore eyes. Oh, and then how about Andre Drummond? Obviously didn't see as many minutes with Vucevic back, but man was protecting the rim tonight, not letting the Hornets get any easy buckets in the paint. 7 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, was bringing energy and muscle in this one, looking like a man amongst boys on some possessions with his bully ball in the paint. But anyway, Bulls tonight, 29 assists, very solid, good distribution of the ball and overall scoring. They were very efficient from the field, shooting 54%, which seems crazy because the Bulls offense overall looks so bad at times, even when the shots were falling. And they also shot 35% from 3, better than what we've been seeing recently. Bulls improved to 16-21. Thanks to the Hawks losing, they're back to 10th in the East and only a half game behind the Nets for 9th. Still a lot of work to do, and that trade deadline is approaching quickly, just a little more than a month away now. I'll obviously keep you guys posted should any news break, and as always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.